What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Show. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? We are finally sitting down to take a look at Night City Wire Episode 1. This is kind of the first in what I'm going to guess is a series, seeing that it's called Episode 1 of little info videos, I guess, that CD Projekt Red is going to be releasing until Cyberpunk 2077's new launch date. I talked about this yesterday. In November, there we go, is when the new launch date is for Cyberpunk. I don't know a whole hell of a lot of, what we're going to be seeing here. I've really kind of been staying off Twitter, staying off of everything, just so I wouldn't get anything spoiled for me. I kind of like this, how it's kind of down here, kind of chunked up. So, we get a new trailer, dev insights for the trailer, announcements, whatever Edge Runners is. We also get a nice little kind of a brain dance gameplay. So I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll find out. Just want to make sure we are, 1080. Everything looks good. Let's hop in. You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Ooh, nothing like getting copyright city of dreams, claims and all that.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red, where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some brain dance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our...
Real quick, if anybody wants to, wants me to go over any articles or any videos or whatever that any outlet did for their coverage of Cyberpunk or anything like that over this period of time, hit me up, tell me which specific site or whatever. I've kind of got an idea of what I'm going to be doing for this week's show in a couple days, seeing that, it's going to be a really short time span between yesterday's show and the next one. So I've kind of got I've got my plans of what exactly I want to do. It's going to be a little, it's going to be a little different. But like I said, if you want to see something specific, hit me up in the comments, send me a link, or just, like I said, let me know what outlet or whatever you'd suggest. So there you go. Throwing that out there.
And after that, our lead quest designer, Pavel Sasko, will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So let's take a look.
I love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other, just bigger.
Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here.
The major leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bullet.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
You can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
No bodies, but just guns.
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
All right, that just looked like Grand Theft Auto in a cyberpunk setting. Or it's like Ghost in the Shell meets Cyberpunk. or god damn it, one more fucking time. Like Ghost in the Shell meets Grand Theft Auto. That's what that just screamed to me. And oh my god. Oh man, I get it. Take your time, CD Projekt. Do your thing. I'm fine. I can wait till November. But oh my god, when I see a trailer like that, oh my god, my hands shake and I want to play it. Oh,
Dex, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
Fuck.
hey, how you doing, Keanu?
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot.
Only
So,
the prologue?
Howard, why don't you try and help us unpack everything?
Did anyone just hear her say the prologue only? Like, to me, holy shit. All right, I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are...
Okay, I really like the look of the Badlands. I get it. It's probably going to be very barren, and I'm not sure what all's going to be out there, but it screams... It looks like we've gone from, like, Cyberpunk to Mad Max, and I'm so... and look, you know me, I like Mad Max, so I'm in. I love it.
Meeting Jackie. Jackie's your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They're trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in the different families, and they are traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this?
Sorry, I was just I kind of went quiet there. I was kind of absorbing that. I stand by it. He's kind of saying a lot without saying... He's saying a lot without saying anything, if that makes sense. He's kind of giving those brief... You know, when she's like, kind of give us an idea of what something is, he's just kind of giving us a brief description. Those Mox gang, I don't... At least I haven't seen much, if anything, from them. I mean, I know I've seen, like, the Voodoo Boys and a few other of the gangs, but the Mox, that's a first for me. I really like that idea. You know, I mean, I'm gonna guess that they have, you know, you're gonna see them a lot in certain sections of the city, a lot, you know, to do with like strip clubs and whatnot. some certain forms of adult entertainment, shall we say. But I still say, of everything I've seen, the Badlands actually interests me the most, and I know that's so weird in a game it has this massive futuristic setting, these big skyscrapers and all this, again, like Ghost in the Shell shit, which I always have kind of funny that, when we think all this futuristic cyberpunk whatever, there's so many just like Asian influences. You see a lot of stuff, and you're thinking Japanese. Like you'll see Jackie, he's eating with the chopsticks, and he's eating out of like a takeout container or something. It's. Or, you'll see all the big signage out in the background, and it's all Japanese characters or it's Chinese characters or whatever. And it's not just in this. You see it a lot in just cyberpunk or futuristic movies, just spanning decades. It's really weird to me. I guess weird's not the right word. It's just kind of odd. But sorry, I got a little distracted there in my own brain. But in a world where with all this futuristic stuff, I actually find the Badlands to be so much more interesting, mostly because it's that vast contrast of like that all that futuristic shit is normal in this world. I want to see this desert, these people who are living out in the middle and who are just kind of living out in the desert and with these nomads and everything. I think that's a super interesting story, and it's got a lot to do with the cars and everything. I really want to explore that area, personally.
This giant metal monster.
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City, but to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
Ooh, this is something I've really been curious about.
In our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Reaper Dogs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Okay, he kind of went into it there, but we saw something there. I've seen that upgrade. That hand. I'm trying to think. Let me actually pull it back a little bit. I know I'm doing this with the mouse and not my keyboard. Feel free to make fun of me.
For a story, through that you will invest.
He pulls that back right there. This upgrade, it's supposed to, I believe, give you more stability, less recoil when you're firing. So it's nice to see that the upgrades that you buy from the Ripper Docs actually do physically change your character. I really like that idea. And again, I'm not sure how deep and how everything, what all we're going to see in this game in terms of Ripper Docs and everything. But I'm still kind of hoping that, like you'll have like ocular implants that'll make things more video gamey. Like, you can see weaknesses, or you can see, what is it that you can see weaknesses, or you can see the amount of damage a gun's doing, or you can see this, that, the other thing. Like, that's not just a setting, it's an actual upgrade they have to get. Or you can see enemy health bars or vitality or whatever. It's like I said, like it's an actual ocular implant, not just, oh, I'm gonna flip on a setting or something. I mean, look, if you want to make it a setting after you get the implant, that's cool. But I don't know why. I just think that would really work in a game like this. I think that would be really cool, but this is me. And again, more Asian influences. Again, you're seeing the little cats.
Eddies that you're gathering to...
It's a futuristic thing. I've never understood.
Tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
To Night City.
Before we reveal...
See, I said this yesterday when I covered an article that basically said the same thing. I'm not sure how that upgrade is going to work. Is it going to be a purely digital upgrade? You know, are they just going to completely release? I don't know. I don't even know exactly what you would call it. It would be almost like a full-on texture overhaul, just because it would almost be like reworking the entire game. Or would it actually be here's an upgraded PS5, Xbox Series X version of the game that you can now download for free because it's on your account. So I can now have access to this better version for free. My theory is it's going to be more kind of like a Game of the Year version, and it's like I said, it's your account already has the game purchased, so now you can just get the Game of the Year version for free. I don't know. Maybe that's how it'll work. Maybe it's not. I'm just going to wait for them to come out and say something, but it's a little... We're kind of in the area of speculation right now for exactly what they mean.
Our first look at the Braindance gameplay, and welcome back our developers for a chat. There is just one more thing we want to announce, something that we've been working on in secret for a while. We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans, so it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole.
See, she said I think they said, it's coming out in 2022, so it's going to be a little bit after the game comes out. I also like what you just said there, that it's an entirely new experience. You know, it's new characters, new everything. The only similarity between this and the actual game is the setting, which makes this actually. I'm trying to think how to put this. It makes it kind of interesting to me that what we're doing in the game isn't even. This is going to sound weird. What we're doing is probably not all that important in the grand scheme of things. Like, we're not out to save the world. We're really just out for ourselves. We're out doing our own kind of thing. We're basically a hired gun, basically. I believe in the Cyberpunk world, I believe you're called a solo, I believe, if I'm thinking of the class correctly. I think that's kind of how they're kind of, it's these criminals, these corporations or whatever, they have a job that needs done. You're going to go in and do that job. It's not like it's going to, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. It's not one of those. It's a very kind of, it only really matters for those of us who are doing things. I'm trying to think. It makes the world seem so much grander in scale than anything, than what we are as an individual playing the game. I think that makes it kind of, I don't know. I think that makes it interesting that this is a world that's big enough that there's other important things happening other than just what we're doing. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の、一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで監督に今井氏、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
I'm trying to think.
Now it is time.
What is necessarily the start of cyberpunk? Because, you know, I mean, I'm obviously, you know, I'm an American, I'm a Westerner, so, you know, when I think cyberpunk, I also, you know, I typically go, you know, your Blade Runners, your Blade Runner, Minority Report. I guess, is Minority Report, is that considered cyberpunk? I'm not sure. But, you know, I think Blade Runner, I think Total Recall, you know, I think those older films, but are those, I'm trying to think, when did the Aikido anime come out? Or the animated film? Because I want to say that was actually one of the more bigger starts of cyberpunk as more of a mainstream pop culture thing. You know what? I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna look this up.
To show you some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Okay, before we get into this, just because I like I said, I had to look it up because I was thinking that, like I said, like for some reason I've always heard that Aikido was really the start of, you know, cyberpunk and kind of like mainstream thought, or not mainstream thought, but, you know, it was one of the first big examples of cyberpunk or whatever. But it is actually predated 6 years by Blade Runner. I was correct. Blade Runner was before Aikido. Although, oddly enough, Total Recall was 2 years after Aikido. So, interesting. I know that this sounds just kind of out there, but, you know, when he said, you know, that Cyberpunk really kind of started when they were teens, I was just trying to go back. I'm like, wasn't it Aikido that really kind of started Cyberpunk and all that stuff as really big pop culture sort of things? So, sorry about that little aside.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
Down! Everybody! On the ground! I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now! Or I will fucking drop you! I swear to God!
Didn't he already rack that gun earlier?
Now, before I blow your fucking head off!
Like, I get it, you're doing it to intimidate people, but...
Ah!
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain, his stress, his hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine.
Okay, I love how this says work in progress. I was just so captivated by her hair, and I know that's such a weird thing to say, but I mean, like, just seeing the individual strains, just the character's scan and everything is absolutely beautiful for a work in progress.
Let's switch over to editing mode.
Even from here, you can see a lot of the detail.
I'll sever the link to the BD roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Preem as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind. Roll it back to the top. All good. Neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't be creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it.
See, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what the point of this is.
In the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio. And remember, keep control left. That's all you have to believe it or not.
Okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
I mean, I guess the
Case of Brosif and a couple of zappers.
I guess the point of this is to be able to. I'm trying to think.
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable.
You know, like maybe we need certain information or something like that in during the game. I'm just trying to figure out exactly like what the. I mean, this is neat, but you know, it's very cyberpunk-y, I guess, to use a turn of phrase. I don't know. I just don't know what to expect. Just what exactly the point of it is.
Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now!
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw, stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kuroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it. His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit. impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe, and then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it.
Like flogging the log.
Can you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now in our game we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording, and it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout
this guy.
years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of that recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that braindance as a mechanism.
Okay, I'd have...
So, as Pavel was saying...
I had a feeling that was what it was. This guy, I really like Pavel. He always seems so excited. I've seen him a few times during some CD Projekt Red stuff. I really like him. This really, just the way the thing looks, like rewinding the time and everything, kind of reminds me of something very similar that they did with Connor in Detroit Become Human. That's sort of, solving a crime by using all the, by kind of like with this kind of... It's a little different because Connor is seeing things in first person, and you have to piece together what happened to be able to see the crime take place in the virtual world. Well, this is, like I said, it's a tad different. But it's a really interesting idea that, we can kind of like play cyber detective in a way. And like I said, it's like Pavel said, I think that there's going to be some really cool like mysteries and gameplay elements that they can use for this. I mean, it's pretty obvious what this was going to be used for. I mean, when I was sitting there going, I just don't understand what the point of this is. I guess, this one that we were seeing was just kind of like a tutorial of what braindance is and how to use it. So I could see some, now that I really kind of sit and think about it, I can see some interesting story beats that this could be used for. I just hope a lot of it is kind of more side material, because I feel like if this is used too much in the main story, it would get a little stale.
We use braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're gonna see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures, and they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because
Look, they're playing that off as a joke, and you know that he's got all these crazy notes and everything, but this is what makes the studio so good, and it makes CD Projekt Red what they are. They are frighteningly good at what they do. I mean, all three Witcher. I mean, again, I've said this multiple times, and it's not a unique opinion. So many people say this. Every Witcher game almost redefined the genre. They've found ways to do old things in new ways. They found just great. Their quests are just so strongly written and structured and everything. And it's like Pavel and these guys. They are truly geniuses and masters at what they do. It's what really excites me about this game. I think more than anything else, it's just getting into and exploring the city. I mean, it's not like I compared it to Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is fun with all the crazy side stuff I can do. You know, I can drive around really fast. I can do taxi missions, or I can play tennis in GTA 5, or I can do this or that. You know, I can do all this crazy shit. And the missions are fun and everything, but Cyberpunk and The Witcher and all this, I think what makes me so excited is to sit and play the missions, is to do to explore this world that these people have crafted, and you can tell the excitement and the care and everything that's gone into it. It's absolutely incredible. Sorry, I couldn't find my mouse.
Some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
All right, well, I'm not gonna lie, I will say, I think in terms of what we were shown and told and everything, this was a little on the light side. We didn't really see a whole hell of a lot, especially I think from what we would actually like to see, because for me, I would like to see quests, but I would like to see, you know, like side quests and everything, because like because I've always heard that, or I've heard them talk about, oh, well, we're going to be doing side quests and the way you gather them in kind of its own way, and I would just, hell, I would love to just see free roam in Night City. I would love to see, you know, maybe take out the story, you know, just kind of give me the main meat story bits of it, you know, take out all the scenes, all the talking, just kind of tell me, well, here's the general idea, here's what we're doing, and we're going into this area, and we're going to be doing this thing, you know, kind of show us something like that, you know, kind of show us generally like like the general idea of a quest progression, or kind of just take us through another stealth section of the game, or just show us different play styles. Like, that's what I really want to see more of, but I get it. I think that eventually they'd be, you know, I think the term giving away the farm is kind of apt there, but I'm very impressed by what we're seeing. I mean, even that brain dance thing, which I think on its own seems a little innocuous, is very interesting, and it just, again, the more I think about it, the more I think they're going to be able to do some really cool stuff with that. So I'm pumped. I enjoyed this first little look at Night City Wire or whatever. As they said, the next episode will be in a few weeks. We will obviously cover that when it's time. As I said earlier in the show, if you want to see any particular response, or, you know, any particular outlet's response or whatever, stick to like big outlets or whatever. I'm not, you know, do a response to a YouTuber's response. Nothing against them. It's just that feels a little weird to me. Like I'm much more okay, you know, covering a IGN video, and then it's a thing with me. So. But like I said, so if you see an outlet or something that you really want to see my opinions on, their opinions or whatever, hit me up either with a link or just tell me the outlet or whatever, or the name of the video, and I'll, you know, do what I can. Other than that, I think we're going to close here, guys. Thanks for watching. Social media's in the description. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned more next time. Until then, my name's AJ Gill. This is Some of the Game Channel. I'm out.